Junior. All right, give us a grade there, Frank. One drive, ran one route, no targets. What do you get? Scale 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
And be fair now. Be fair, Frank.
What are you giving him for his first professional outing?
I'm gonna give him 10 plus. I'm gonna give him a 10 without a doubt. He didn't jump off sides. He remembered the play. He had his helmet on.
He had his helmet on.
He remembered his pads.
Yeah, he showed up. He came on time. I love this guy already.
I like Frank. I like the little press coverage on him. Just hey, welcome to National Football League. That little safety, that little corner got up on him, and that little hand battle. But there'll be more of that as the season goes on. Correct?
No, absolutely, man. Look, everyone knows right now that the Cardinals have some real talented receivers, guys that are tall, rangy. They got some body. They got some body to them with some quickness. They can make big plays on you at any time. The back shoulder throw, I'm pretty sure you Manute would love to use with these two guys that we got out there on as our bookends. But look, they're going to get their chance to be welcome to the NFL. A lot of teams are going to challenge them primarily because they got to see what Kyler can do. They got to see how offensive line can hold up, if it can hold up. And I think, man, if Drew's going to call some great plays and put guys in good motions, put them in motion, then it's going to make for a long day for them if they don't move those guys around.
How beneficial will it be to see that with the Colts this week? They're going to have two practices to see that competition come from other defensive backs. I'm sure they'll do 1-on-1s and 7-on-7s, but if they do team scrimmages without hitting, to see that, how he gets off the ball versus the Colts defensive backs.
The 1-on-ones versus another team is going to be epic. Like, that's what you look forward to because you know this is actually practice. But the very nature that is practice goes out the window because it's another team, it's another jersey, and it's someone trying to prove them points against you to see if you're ready for the National Football League. Of course, some guys might go in zone minutes, some guys might go up in the press. But if you're starting cornerback on the other side of the football field, you have to go up and press this guy. You have to show him what you're capable of. But more importantly, Marvin has to welcome the challenge. And I'm pretty sure his entire time coming out of Ohio State, knowing that the targets on those guys' back, man, he knows what it feels like to be that guy and getting press coverage. But I've seen his footwork. I'm impressed with it, and I don't think he's going to have a problem with it.
Frank, don't you think that the Colts cornerbacks even are frothing about to be the guy that goes and covers them? You know how those defensive backs are. Let me have him. But that's going to be beneficial for him to see the best wanting to cover him. Don't you think?
Oh, without a doubt. Look, every rep makes a difference. I'm pretty sure by now, and this happened to me in my rookie year. Buddy Ryan, when I went to rookie camp, and I kind of had a really good rookie camp, they didn't care about that because they knew I was one of the top draft picks anyway, so it didn't matter. I just didn't have to mess it up. Rock, all I had to do is bring my helmet, make sure I had my cleats on the right foot, make sure my gloves was there. Versus the rookies, that was fine. But more importantly, when you get a chance to go against the big guys and the veterans, those are the ones that's going to be playing. And so, look, when he gets ready to go out there and practice, and those guys are going to want to work against him because they want to see if he's the guy, if he's that first-round draft pick, or is he just a bust, or was he covered up by great talent at Ohio State? So he's going to get the reps. But more importantly, for him mentally and emotionally, it's a good chance to say, welcome to the NFL, bro. Like, this is not college. These are real men out here that are solid at their technique. They study you the entire game, not just one or two plays, and they're trying to find your weaknesses. So this practice for all parties involved is going to be some good work for the Cardinals.
Frank Sanders is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. So I'll follow up. How much do you take away from an opening game? I'll give you a couple of examples. The Bears fans are already over the moon. They think they're going to win the Super Bowl with what Caleb Williams did in his opener. The same can be said for the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix. People just go crazy, and it's an exhibition game with not all of the top players playing, Frank. So what do you take away from a game one?
More importantly, I take away, which I've learned to love more about our coaching staff. And I think as a fan of the game, and you guys as well, you watched our coaching staff coach 4 quarters of football. It came down to the last minute, and how about this here? JG decides to put the kicker, man, Like, this is a preseason game, and he iced the kicker. So
Yeah.
they're coaching 4 quarters of football. But look at our team. Like, our team went out and played every rotation of guys that came in on offense or defense. They knew they knew their assignments. They were solid about what they wanted to do. They were solid about what they were being told to do. They went out and made plays. You know, and I just got to take it from that standpoint that once you see your coach and your coaches call plays and put guys in position, and these are the guys that they're trying to make the team. They want to see if they can make the team. To me, more importantly, I saw our coaches coach, man. And I think that's such an underrated thing, man. When you're looking at when you have talent, but if you don't coach that talent to be ready for 4 quarters of football or 17 games, that's the difference. And I think just watching our coaching staff, they repeated this last year when they got here and they coached 4 quarters of football. I keep saying that because I know the value of it. And when you got young guys on our team, they got to realize that they got a fighting chance, man, no matter what. And I think that was impressive to see out our coaching staff. They moved guys, they put guys in the right spot, guys made plays, but they didn't quit, man. I like that.
But Frank, with only the 3 preseason games, what do you need to see these next 2 games of preseason, since they'll have 2 weeks off prior to the opening season, in order to give you some confidence that maybe this team is hitting on all cylinders or has improved from last year?
You know, watching our running game, I mean, just offensively, our running game needs to kind of be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more, impactful. This game last week, I mean, just watching it, we had running backs that made big plays. There was guys down the field making some runs that I was impressed with. So I want to say about our running game, the physicalness and the toughness has to start trying to ramp up, because our normal practices are so light and they're non-contactual. So those things you just kind of miss, and you walk through as you're doing these pre-practices before you get into the season. But when you're in the game, you gotta make it physical. You gotta make it tough. You gotta make guys gotta want to go out there and make plays. Defensively, our guys gotta fly around, man, and they look good. We got some guys that can get to that quarterback pretty good. And so, to me, I just want to see it ramp up, getting more physical. I want to see the guys when they get a chance to make plays, make those plays. And I see we got a beautiful battle, man, at quarterback position. So that just puts a little bit more fire on the Kyler, man, not to be half-assing it, go out and make plays, man, and give you guys the best chance to go out there and win some ball games.
I know stats aren't something you're going to look back at, what happened on, August 10th, but no penalties for either team on Saturday. And the penalties, Cardinals only had 7. And that's something that they've had issues in the past, is penalties that always hurt them. But no turnovers in a preseason game. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's something positive to kind of look at when you're looking at the film the next day.
No, you're absolutely right, man. That's hella coaching and guys paying attention to detail. The value of making it in the NFL is huge. The value of making it on an NFL team is, it's huge. But one thing you look back at yourself and say, I gave myself the best chance. I didn't mess it up because I wasn't there mentally. I wasn't alert. I didn't know the assignments, or the game just was too fast. You got to give good kudos to the coaching staff, man, for getting those guys ready to play. It's hard to do, but when the guys want to do it, then they go out and do it, and then you reap the benefits of that.
And I know every once in a while we talk a little defense. It's good therapy for us to talk a little defense once in a while, Frank. But Darius Robinson, the kid can bring. What do you play? 8 plays. The kid showed some athleticism. I got to tell you, he was bringing it.
Look, I'm impressed, man. I'm watching our coaching staff. I'm watching Monty put together a team. Last year we saw it. I cannot, overemphasize the fact that we, as the Cardinal fans, us in the media, you guys got a chance to, constantly talk about getting rid of Steve Kimes, bringing in new coaching staff, guys that's going to coach 4 quarters of football, guys that's going to, pay attention to the details and the small things. But when you look at how we've gone through the draft, and Monty's gone through the draft and brought players in with some athletic ability, some range, some body, some ability, some agility with speed. You need that in this game right now. And when you get the young kid to go out there and make some plays, that's got to feel real good to him, because he can trust the coaching, but also he trusts his instinct. And I think that's a beautiful thing to see.
Frank Sanders is our guest. Frank, I want you to answer this for me. What are we going to see then if they're going to practice with the Colts those couple of days? What will we see then in game 2 in your estimation? What should fans look for?
I think, it depends on if Kyler gets in rotation, but I'm not even going to put it on Kyler. I think you should see our receiving core. I think you should see more plays down the field, more attempts for down the field, because now teams got to pay attention to our running game, and I think that's something that we've established, that we do have a running game between our 1-2 punch and Carter and Benson. So far, we haven't even brought Connor, JC, off the bench from that standpoint. But I think you can start seeing us start to move into our play action situation, throwing the ball more down the field, trying to see if these guys can go out there and make big plays between the posts and these back shoulder throws, man, for goal routes and things like that. So I hope to see that next week when you start seeing, because you want to see Marvin get more plays. You want to see your veterans kind of come out and start showing that little sense of continuity, whether that be on offense and defense. And I think once you see that, I mean, you'll start getting a good idea of what kind of team we have. I'm looking forward to seeing them go against the Colts. The Colts got an explosive quarterback in Richardson, their first round draft pick. Maybe if he plays, that's going to be good for our defense. That'll be good. That'll be some good reps on that part. But more importantly, we got to start making plays downfield. We got to be the explosive ones that threaten teams with the idea that the Cardinals are not just going to dink and dunk, but that we also can get that ball down the field and make some explosive plays for touchdowns.
So it sounds like you're like leaning 14 wins, 15 wins on the season.
Oh, without a doubt. You already know it, brother. Look, the season has started, but it hasn't started. But the hope is, it is already, man. I'm like 8 weeks in with hope that this team could be something special because of the talent that's there. So could it be 14 wins, Rock? I know you and I would drink a bottle of tequila without a problem together if they get 14
Was that
wins.
a Yogi? Was that a Yogiism? The season has started, but it hasn't started. Is that a Yogi Bearism right there that you stole somewhere?
Hey, boo-boo.
Love you, Frank. Have a good week, buddy.
See you, Yogi.
All right, brothers. Have a good one.
That's good. Rocky Manuch, Jimmy B. That's Frank Sanders here on the Right to It Against line. Appreciate him talking some Cardinals.
Well,
pretty optimistic as a lot of people are right now, and you should be.
Yeah, and I think the main thing is, he wants, with these backup quarterbacks, that's all we're going to see since Kyler's in bubble wrap for the rest of the preseason.
Pretty much.
That's unbelievable.
It is. It really is, Rock. It drives me nuts. So this kid, he only played 8 games. You don't need to get your continuity down with all the. I think every starting quarterback in National Football, I got to believe, is pretty much playing. You saw Derek Carr start. Saw Patrick Mahomes going for a series. Mm-hmm. Some of the best. Josh
Allen played.
And he's not going to play. Okay. But all that being said, pumping the ball, I think what Frank wants is at least let's try to drive the ball down the field with this receiving core, no matter who the quarterback is that's in there. But I think it's a disservice. I really do. My opinion that Kyler Murray's not playing at all during the preseason to try to get some of that timing and continuity down, and have to be 3, 4, 5 games in the regular season before you finally get him.
Well, where to go? We're Rocky Manuch with Jimmy B from the Casino Arizona Sportsbook.
Win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival.